Boker Tov. Hope you can hear me. Yeah, I think so. Ah, boy. Well, Boker Tov. This Saturday evening, we will be sitting down to have our Seder meals, and we are going to be talking about Mitzrayim, that is Egypt, and our ancestors having left Egypt. Egypt is known in Hebrew as Mitzrayim, which literally means a narrow place. And there are so many ways that we can be in a narrow place, experiencing something like avdut, which means slavery. You can be free. You can be free politically, and you can be fairly comfortable financially, and yet you can be in a prison. It's the prison of time. There is a phenomenon that makes us feel that we are being compressed in time as we get older. There is a sense that when you're young, time seems to drag on infinitely, but when you're older, time seems to be going very, very quickly. And I think the one thing we would all want to have in our lives is a little more time. We would like to expand our sense of lifespan, if not the actual number of years, the experience of our lifespan. And how do we do this? We look at Jewish spirituality, and we are reminded that if you really want to experience a broader sense of time, you need to do something new, something different. Let me just quote Psalm 96. It says, "Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash," sing unto God a new song. Do something new. When you do something new, when you take a new route to work, when you listen to a kind of music you haven't listened to before, when you try a stretching exercise, Tai Chi or something that perhaps you've never tried before, you break up the monotony, the regular routine of life, and your sense of experiencing time is broadened. You're no longer a slave to routine and to monotony. I'm reading a book right now called The Telling by Mark Gerson, and he speaks a great deal. He writes a great deal about the Haggadah. It's all about the Haggadah, actually. And he talks about this phenomenon of expanding time to broaden our horizons with regard to how we are experiencing the flight of time. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this, and we're going to meditate on it. Why does our perception of time, the very measure of the length of our lives, seem to pass so much faster now than it did when we were younger? The frequently provided reason is that each moment becomes a smaller percentage of our life as we get older. The time in a semester seemed long when it was 2% of our life and more of the life we can remember, but less so when it becomes 0.5%. There must be something different about the way that adults generally experience time as we get older. That accounts for why time speeds up. If we can get that right, we might be able to adjust just how we experience time and effectively lengthen our lives. In other words, breaking out of the slavery, the narrow place of time. The 19th century psychologist William James offered an explanation. Quote, "The foreshortening of the years as we grow older is due to the monotony of memory's content. In youth, we may not we may have an absolutely new experience, subjective or objective, every hour of the day. Something new is happening all the time when you're young. Young people experience time slowly, not because of their age, but because they constantly encounter new things. Older people, by contrast, develop routines, which James classifies as monotony. This, James writes, accounts for time seeming to move faster. Monotony. Modern science has shown that James was exactly right. The Stanford neuroscientist David Engelman conducted an experiment where he flashed an image of a brown shoe on a computer screen many times, interrupted it with an image of a flower. The subject reported that the flower was on the screen for much longer, even though the images were all presented in the same amount of time. Professor Engelman explains, time is this rubbery thing. It stretches out when you really turn your brain resources on and say, "Oh, I got this. Everything is as expected." It shrinks up when you do that. This insight is abundantly confirmed by social science. So just think about that. The lesson of this oddball effect for Pesach is profound. To prolong time, to appreciate time, to sanctify time. The guidance from the Torah and modern science is clear. We should pursue new experiences and form new relationships. We should find that what is special and distinctive in familiar things. We should allow ourselves to begin again. It is by experiencing newness that we make life both longer and better. You're going to be doing your Seder this Saturday night. Hopefully every one of you will be experiencing a Passover Seder on the first night, which is Saturday, and perhaps the second night, maybe you'll join the cantor and me right here for the second night. But always try and introduce something new into your Seder proceedings. Always try and find some new approach. When you do this, when you look at it, perhaps look at the Exodus story from a feminist point of view, or an environmentalist point of view, or using some sort of new interpretation, a psychological point of view, an historical point of view. But finding something new is a way of making Passover something new and exciting. And we should do this every day, not just on Passover. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, mechadesh b'chol yom ma'aseh v'reshit. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, who renews the work of creation day by day. Find a nice, comfortable place to sit. Keep your back straight, your chin parallel to the floor. Allow your eyes to close. As the sound of the bell fades into the distance, allow yourself to enter into a beautiful meditative state. Bring your attention to your breath. This may sound like a monotonous thing to do, to watch your breath every time you meditate. But you've never taken this breath before. This breath, this sip of air, tastes and feels like no other sip of air that you've ever taken in. Notice the effect, new effects. This breath brings to you this morning. You've never lived this day before, even in your regular routines. You experience new sensations. Taking a shower, maybe you take time to smell the soap and feel it lathering on a part of your body that you have not been in touch with for a long time. When you sip your morning coffee, you notice the different flavors, the aroma, in a new way that you've never experienced before. Your taste buds alive, breaking out of your routine. Breaking out of that narrow place, making space in your mind and your soul to experience life more broadly. Time stretches out. When you do something new, something unexpected. Feel time expanding. Taste a little bit of eternity in every moment. In the Talmud we read, "He who presses time will be pressed by time." And the way that we expand time, not to be pressed or compressed in time, is to do something new, something innovative, something unexpected every day. We may not be able to increase the number of minutes in our lives, but we can expand our experience of each minute, of each hour. With this wisdom, with this expansiveness comes wisdom, patience, lengthen our days and our years. Let us experience life in its depths, in its broadness. Mechadesh b'chol yom ma'aseh Bereshit. Every day you renew the work of creation. Take a deep breath. Hold it and release it. Another deep breath. Release it. One more. Open your eyes. Adjust to the light. Stretch a little bit. That's it. Good. Well, a little different way to look at Passover. Expanding not just our political freedom but our sense of time. You know, when you're a slave, time doesn't belong to you. Your time belongs to someone else. But with Passover, we realize that no matter what the external circumstances are, we control our experience of time. Okay, well, I hope that some of you might join me for a Talmud class at 11:30 on our Zoom, and just check out our trending. There's so many things happening in the synagogue virtually, and pretty soon things are going to be happening in person right here at the temple at 1351 South 14th Avenue. Hope you haven't forgotten the address. Okay. Boker Tov, Boker Or, and remember to smile and to bring a smile to the face of at least one other person that you encounter on your journey today. See you soon.